I'm doing I guess it'll be a relationship, romantic love tarot reading. I haven't done this since June, and now I have, what I'm really excited about is Tarot of Sexual Magic. I'm so stoked about this deck. It's like something I wanted to get for a long time, and I kind of hesitated on getting it because I was like, do I really know how to incorporate this into my videos? Anyways, it's here. Through some convincing by a friend, I get to now use this deck as part of my readings, and this is the first time I'm using it for video, so bear with me. I'm really new to the whole sexual magic tarot, and we're learning together. Okay, so this is a heavy one. We have Three of Swords. Now this card is usually the ultimate symbol of infidelity. It's a card of a partnership that has been infiltrated by a third energy or force that is toxic and negative and damaging and creating a foundation of deceit and lies. It is a really, again, really heavy card. So really interesting that we're starting out with this. I don't know who this message is for, but I was being really pulled to do a reading today. And so if this is resonating with you, this is going to be a really intense reading today. Yeah, this is a lot. Okay. So Nine of Swords, there's betrayal and suffering, and the sword element is of the mind, so it's a lot to do with our mental perceptions and our viewpoints and how they can cause us an immense amount of internal suffering, and how two people can be going through a parallel situation and one will perceive it as punishment and torture while the other might perceive it as lesson, opportunity, and growth. So this is like a really really intense reading. Again, I'm not really sure where we're going with this, so bear with me here. We have the King of Cups. So I'm gonna go off of what I'm getting, which is this is about the masculine, the divine masculine energy archetype. There is a kind of battle that's been going on in their mind, and there's been an infiltration of their belief system in themselves, perhaps. I'm getting that there's a lot of pain and self-doubt and self-harm here. So let me take a look at what the Nine of Swords is telling us. Okay, so this card is Oedipus, the Greek mythology. So the Nine of Swords represents decision-making controlled by anxiety. So it's the torture of that mental state, the mind. The oracle at Delphi warns the king that his son, Oedipus, will one day kill him. Had he not let his fears control him and raised his son in love instead of hate, the king's eventual death could have been avoided. So there's anxiety, terror, nightmares, obsession, and insomnia. So with the Three of Swords, this is about the crane wife, represents betrayal again, heartbreak, self-harm, sadness, and separation and grief. something's happened with this union. I want to say that on both sides there's been deceit and betrayal. The feminine energy has contributed to it through her own self-harm and victimization and perpetuation of abuse in her own mind and in her perception of herself within that dynamic. And the masculine is also so distraught with anxiety and fear and doubt, and there's a lot of terror and heaviness here. Honestly, this is like major wounding coming up. So much shadow is being brought to the surface. The King of Cups is about the subconscious. There's self-discipline and there's an expansive awareness of our emotions. So I think that the swords and the cups are really playing off how our emotions can change our state of mind, and our state of mind can change our emotions. And this will create a shift in perception that is either going to serve us in healing and reconciling union energy, or in drifting it further apart. So, okay, time for a sex magic card. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Let's see what kind of couple we're dealing with here. Like 2 cards fell out. Let's see here. Okay. So we have the Knave of Cups. This is kind of like a disappointment energy. Like, yeah, I'm new to this deck, so I'm still getting familiar with the illustrations, but I feel like there's a couple out on the balcony that are, you know, in each other's arms in love, and he's really, he's not taking to it very well. I think he lost his lover to somebody else, and there's a sense of frustration, and he's trying to take it out on paper, and there's like a lot of bitterness. And yeah, so I think with the 3 of Swords, that's kind of that play on that third energy that has infiltrated this union and created such turmoil and pain. And I think what's interesting about the Knave of Cups is he really wants to blame it on the other person and say, oh, this other person is the reason that this union didn't work out. But actually the other person is only a symbol of what was actually going on in the dynamic before they even arrived. They really just brought out the shadow that had pre-existed before this third party. Whether it be energy or a person specifically, there's been a disruption to the dynamic that has just been a trial of their union and their love. So let's take a look here. Okay. This is so much. So it's the Chariot. This is in the Sexual Magic Tarot, this is Conquest. I was just reading this card right before I turned on the camera, and I was fascinated by what it said, so I'll read it to you guys as well. So the Chariot represents conquest, the sceptre of command. To conquer a rival, you must change tactics and perspective, faking a retreat and then staging a forceful surprise attack. I'm going to read what the Knave of Cups is for this. Okay, the magic of the ink. So it's a kind of mystic alchemy here. The doubts are slinking along in the distance. You must find a way to communicate and meet in spite of the considerable distance. Interesting. Wow. Okay. So I'm getting there's oof. Okay. I haven't been so lost for words in a while. I want to say that yes, there's been what seems like a kind of attack, but it's making this couple face their demons, and it's creating an opportunity for this sacred union to only become stronger through what is a perceived challenge or duality or distance. It's almost like this person is going back and forth as to whether it's their emotions that are correct or their mind, and they're not complementing each other right now. There's this battle between the mind and emotions over whether or not the distance represents the end of this relationship, or if the distance is meant to be bridged and to bring them closer together. So I want to say that this is the duality of like the Chariot, because you can either perceive this distance as a symbol of toxicity and that you need to end the relationship completely and start over, or it could be that you are you're a chariot and this is a conquest for you. This could be perceived as a kind of erotic, sensual trial of your love to each other, and that perhaps you could ascend this tumultuous, erroneous, mental overanalyzing by seizing this as an opportunity to really stake your claim of love on the battlefield. It's just very aggressive energy. It's so intense that, like, I just feel like the masculine here is has a major decision to make, and that the feminine is ultimately waiting on the masculine to see what her next move is going to be, because I don't think she'll want to continue to self-harm anymore. She's not going to put herself in a position where she feels unappreciated and undervalued. So it's really up to the masculine to show that he can bridge the gap that has been wedged between them, or this will be the end of the relationship. There's going to be such a divide between their heart space and their mind. It's just the bridge will only get wider, and it could be the end. So this is a pretty intense reading. I just want to pull one more card from the Tarot of the Divine too. Well, not that many cards, but let's see if I can reset this deck here. There's like so much energy happening. I feel like that must have been why I was feeling such a call to do this reading today, because whoever this is for is at a major crossroads. So we have two of coins. Let me read what my pamphlet says on the two of coins. So two of coins is usually like a union energy in the security, financial, material, earthly realm aspect. So with this card, the two of coins represents the skill needed to balance opposing forces in life. Okay, so Prisunt, I can't pronounce that. Prisunt embodies the dualities of work and family, hobbies and careers, and wants versus needs. Multitasking, balance, choice, flexibility, and prioritization. So this card is about balancing the analyzing of the mind with the pull of the subconscious, fluid, watery heart space. And it really is, you're at a crossroads and you're able to make the best decision when you start to zoom out and see all of the energies that are coming into play in this relationship. If you feel small or scared, or if you start to get really needy for this partner, it's because you haven't zoomed out to see all of the energies and factors at play. You don't want to be making decisions from a place of disempowerment. This goes for both the masculine and the feminine. You want to weigh the fact that you can feel like you need this person, but you don't actually need them, you just want to need them. And it's a kind of meta experience like that, where you're really making sure that you are considering all the elements at play when you're in this passionate affair with this really intense divine union. So there's a lot going on. I think it's just really good to remember that our primal energies and our higher chakras are supposed to work for each other, not against each other. So it's just this play of the dark and light, and the fluid and the shadowy subconscious with our mental and analytical and kind of strictly action-based type of perception. So the best choice is when you see all of it, when you see how your brain is affecting this, how your heart is affecting this, and if you can zoom out wide enough to see with all these different elements what the right decision is, which is ultimately the decision that is serving you and the other person in a way that's healthy, in a way that encourages mutual growth and self-awareness and reflection and love and respect. So that's, I think, what I've got for the reading today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.